everybody, and welcome back to Therapy Tea with Tay and Becs. I'm Tay,
And I'm Bex.
and we are so sorry about the audio in the last episode. You know, things just weren't going great, and we filmed a whole other episode, but when I went to go edit it, there was no audio.
Yep.
So,
Always something with audio. Last time you couldn't hear me, so it was a little bit
but
sad.
if you're listening to this episode, then we're good.
Yes. Um, we actually went through the whole episode, but like Taylor said, the audio was, I guess, deleted. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. I went to export everything to start editing for to upload pretty much, and I was listening back and I was like, "Girl, something ain't right." So yeah, there was no audio, and the whole file didn't exist anymore. So I don't even know what happened.
It's okay though. So you guys can still hear from us this week, so that's pretty exciting. We were going to reflect on our first week, but now we can reflect on our past 2 weeks. So how
Yeah.
about we talk about those 2 weeks?
So last week was our first week, obviously, and I started a new TA ship, and that was really stressful for me because if you know, you know about TA things, but I had to worry about my own classes, trying to figure out a new schedule, and then also worrying about those classes that I'm TAing for. So it was like a little stressful.
I felt better about this semester than I did about last semester.
Yeah,
Um, I really have been feeling good, but I think it's because we haven't actually got into the real work yet. And I
yeah,
feel like last semester we jumped into it immediately. So
yeah,
I think
that's
that's why.
true.
Um, but even though we're taking one of the hardest classes, I still feel pretty calm about it because I feel like she does break up things.
Yeah,
So hopefully it's not that much. But I know that whenever we get into the real work, I'm gonna be stressed out and I'm gonna have anxiety. I'm already just thinking about it gives me anxiety.
yeah. I feel like the first 2 weeks haven't been bad.
At all.
Like we've been learning a lot, learning about the coursework in each class, So, and Labor Day kind of helped. We had like a little break, so
Yes. So we got to get it, relax again and
yeah.
get a fresh start. And having Dr. DePlu for 2 classes makes things fun. I think.
Yes.
I think
Especially
that's
having
why.
her for like a night class is so fun. If you've never had her for a night class, you need to have her for a night class because I feel like her energy is so different. Like she's very like uplifting, energetic. Like she wants to
Yes.
like wake us up, and you could totally see it.
And if you guys that are listening don't know who Dr. DePlu is, she's basically one of our professors. She's a board certified psychologist. In Texas and Kansas, I think she said, right?
Yeah,
So I really look up to her a lot.
yeah. And we're taking lifestyles and career development with her, which is like her specialty, and she loves talking about it. So I think that's what makes the class even more fun to
Because
attend.
she has a
Because
passion for it for sure. That's
yeah,
what her research is on.
yeah,
But I want to learn how to love it because I before this I didn't even think that I would be interested in career counseling or anything like that.
yeah. I didn't even think that was needed, but it totally makes sense. The more she talks about it, I'm like,
You know what?
there
Yeah,
are there are these problems that people have with their careers and not knowing their dream career and how much of a stress it is like put on their lives.
yeah. Because she said like, and I never thought about it like this before, but having a career and working gives you purpose.
Yeah,
And what freaked me out was when she said, I never thought about this either. When people retire, they die shortly after. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
that is yeah, and it makes sense that a lot of people that retire like want to find something that they love again, like super quick because they don't want to be like sitting by themselves at home doing nothing.
Have no meaning, no drive
Yeah.
to keep going. We're also taking psychopathology with her. That's really
Yeah,
exciting.
so we get to dive deep in the DSM-5, which I'm super excited. I just received mine a few days ago, and it's crazy. I was like looking through it, and I did not know a lot of these disorders existed.
There's
Like
so many.
cannabis-induced disorders, didn't even
Yes.
know. Um,
And like
it's
this,
wild.
since we had to look at the sleep wake disorders for one of our group projects, I didn't know like restless leg syndrome was one,
Oh yeah.
sleep apnea,
Mhm.
all those. I was like, I thought they were just like symptoms that you have, not actual
Yeah.
disorders, especially
Mhm.
mental disorders at
Yeah.
that. My DSM-5 has not came in yet, so I'm pretty upset about that. I'm gonna have to contact Amazon because I bought it like the second day of class,
Mhm.
and it still hasn't came in yet. My labels have came in, everything else, but not my DSM-5.
Yeah.
So I'm patiently waiting for that. How do you feel mentally right now or
I
about the
feel
semester?
pretty good. I know like the weeks leading up to school, I was feeling really anxious, but it's because I feel like we didn't even have that much of a break.
I
I
agree.
We took classes all summer and then we worked pretty much for like the 3 weeks we had off, quote unquote.
Hmm.
So I felt really anxious because I was like, I need a break, and I didn't really want to burn out. You know what I mean? I mean, I haven't burnt out yet, but
Yet, hopefully we don't.
yeah,
We need to start practicing things to
hmm
prevent burnout.
yeah,
And Dr. DeBlue always tells us how important that is
yeah,
too. I love her for reminding us that our mental health matters still.
yes,
That's so important,
yeah,
and we need to remind ourselves of that
uh-huh.
too. Um, but I know I've been feeling anxious a little bit, not about the semester, but I feel like it has something to do with the semester. I've just been having like underlying anxiety. I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming it's because like we went through the syllabus week, so we know everything we have to do throughout the
Yeah.
semester, and it's not here yet, but I know that I have to do it either way.
People say that like syllabus week isn't stressful, and I think it's so
I think it's
stressful
the most stressful week.
because it's like you're handed this syllabus with like all this coursework that you have to do within 4 months, and you're like,
How am I gonna
whoa,
do it? How am I gonna conquer it?
yeah,
Especially for lifestyles, because we have so many papers due and a project
yeah,
at that, and we're working on a research project for research methods,
yeah,
and on top of 15 pages for psychopathology,
yeah.
and a
It's
group project for
crazy.
that
It's so crazy. Now I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh gosh,
too.
you're
I
giving me
know.
anxiety.
Sorry. um, but I'm glad that we can take take it one day at a time.
Yeah, for sure.
Later on, after we film this, me and Taylor are actually going to work on some homework, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Our first real assignment in psychopathology, right? Or no,
Yeah.
lifestyles.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, psychopathology.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about maintaining life outside of school because we're talking about all the things we have to do this semester and how
Yeah.
we're going to prevent burnout, how we're going to maintain our friendships, our relationships with friends and family, our boyfriends, because we've both been in long-term relationships.
Yeah.
How are we going to balance that? Work life, school life,
It's
personal
really
life.
hard, especially because I don't know if it's like this with Rebecca, but me and my boyfriend have literally separate schedules. Like, whenever I'm off of school or work, whatever, he has to go to school and go to work. Like, it's very hard. And his weekends aren't free because he usually has like rehearsals on Sunday nights, and he usually has to prepare for that. And then he has work on Saturday. So it's like, it's really hard to find that balance for sure.
Yeah, I live with my boyfriend, so I see him every day, but seeing each other every day doesn't mean that you're spending quality time together.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
I need to learn how to balance my relationship with him because of course I want to focus on him, but also maintaining my friendships too,
Yeah.
and my family life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to figure out a schedule, like daily schedule or something. But I know that we wanted to get our assignments done during the week, so we have our
Yeah.
weekends free to distress, hang out with our family or friends.
Yeah.
Um, but
Hang out
I
with each other, you know.
hang out with each other, even though we hang out with each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I see Taylor more than I see my mom. But it's not a bad thing, I promise. um, but yeah, because last semester I felt like I was at the point where I was almost burnt out. Like
Yeah.
I was almost there for real. Um, just because I was so focused on school, I literally could not think about anything other than school because
Yeah.
it was still like transitioning from undergrad to graduate school,
Mhm.
so I was not used to that, the workload
Yeah.
and having to read and having to do something every single day.
Yeah.
And whenever I wasn't doing something, I just wanted to relax, like literally bed rot, just in my bed on TikTok
Yeah.
doing nothing.
Yeah.
But I realized how much like I feel like I lost those 3.5 4 months. Like I feel like they went by so fast, and I don't know. So I want to change that this semester for sure.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I prioritize school so much that I made it like a chore, and I felt guilty if I didn't do something. Like, if I didn't read a chapter one week, like I would literally punish
Feel
myself for it. You
like
know
you
what I
feel
mean?
bad. Like
Yeah,
you
I
actually
feel
feel
really
bad.
guilty. Yeah.
And I feel like our professors also put that on us because they're like, they always tell us like you should be reading more than what's already assigned. And I feel
Yeah,
like I'm
or
like,
you should put like X amount of hours into this course or whatever. And
yes,
it's like,
exactly. But I'm
how
like,
can we do that?
yes, I'm like, I'm barely making it through with the readings that I have right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have time for anything else other than what we're doing right now.
But
How do you expect me to do
honestly,
more than
I
that?
feel like this semester we have a lot less reading. Like,
Yes,
because
more,
for one of them, it's
yes.
like the DSM-5, which
It's not reading.
it's
It's
not
just
really reading. It's
listed
just, yeah.
symptoms and
And then with research methods, I
There's no
feel,
reading really.
yeah, like just out of the one book that she assigned.
Hmm.
But with lifestyles, I feel like there is some reading. But
Yeah, there's some reading because we have chapter quizzes and stuff like that.
yeah,
And I feel like we actually need to read those because it's going to be tested on the NCE,
yeah,
and we've heard from multiple sources that it's definitely in
yeah,
the
it's like a
NCE.
main,
Yeah, a main
yeah,
topic tested over. So I think we should definitely pay attention to that.
yeah.
How would how are we going to prevent burnout this semester?
I just think like taking time out of the day of not doing school,
Yeah,
of just like putting my laptop away and just like, okay, I'm done for the day. Like not staying up super late doing school. Like, I mean, staying up late is fine, but I don't need to be staying up late doing school all the time.
yeah, I would do that last semester. I would stay up to like 3 in the morning. I would literally fall asleep doing something, and that's not good because I'm literally not giving my brain a break
Yeah.
at all. I'm going straight from reading a textbook, doing a case study to sleep, and I was literally having dreams about case studies. Like that is not healthy, like at all. So, and I was already having dreams like this about Dr. Hannon. I'm not even kidding. So, because we've heard so much like bad things about her course, so of course, like it made me nervous.
Yeah.
I wish that our upperclassmen wouldn't be like that. I wish they would encourage us.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of faculty also are kind of negative. I'm not gonna say names, but I just feel like they they want us to succeed so bad, but at the same time, they're so negative,
Yes,
and it like hurts my feelings
I
because
know
I'm
it definitely
like,
does. Because we want to hear positive things. That's the field we're
yeah,
gonna go into. That's what we're basically killing ourselves for. We're dedicating all our time,
hmm,
money. We're gonna
yeah,
be in debt.
yeah,
Like literally over it. So of course they should encourage us to keep going and why we should keep going and why it's so important to become a therapist.
yeah,
Um, it's Suicide Prevention Month though, so
yeah. Me and Rebecca, we're gonna try to do some suicide prevention walk and
yeah. Hopefully
some
with
other
Psychi.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's something else we can talk about too.
yeah.
Psychi and all the upcoming things. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I think we mentioned in the last episode that we're PSI officers, which is an international honor society for psychology students. Um, so we're thinking of submitting to SWPA, which is the Southwestern Psychological Association. It's in March. It's going to be in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's like this conference where you can propose something, show your own data and results, whatever. So I'm thinking of proposing my thesis to SWPA. I think it'd be really cool.
What what is your thesis about? What are you thinking about? Researching.
So I am thinking about diving because I'm really into academics, and I mentioned it also in the last episode that I was wanting to be a school LPC, and so I love the idea of combining academics with mental health. I mean, there's so much correlation right there,
I know, and
and
just I mean, not to interrupt you, but it's so
mhm,
important because of that school shooting that just happened.
yes, yeah.
Like that's exactly why we need to put licensed professional counselors in schools.
Hmm. And so I basically want to study like the like specifically like depression and anxiety symptoms in students and see if they have any effect on like their GPA and stuff like that, stress levels. And we're gonna look at like first generation, non first generation, Hispanic, non Hispanic, because we go to a predominantly Hispanic school,
Yeah.
and not all of them are first generation. So I really want to see the difference in seeing like their parent expectations, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because you're a first generation student, right?
yes. Mhm.
And it was difficult for you, right? Because
Yeah,
even in not
it's
knowing.
yeah, it's difficult because you basically go to high school and they're like, okay, you go to college, whatever. Because I don't know if it's like this at your high school, but they
Hmm.
didn't really push trade schools. Like they made us all apply to universities.
Okay.
And so, like, for financial aid and stuff like that, like, my parents don't know how to apply for that.
Yeah.
Like, I had to learn how to apply for that on my own and just
Hmm.
use their income tax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, my parents just don't get it because, they've never been through it and they
Right.
don't realize how hard it is, especially because, I mean, now that I'm living like an hour and a half away from home, like, they're like, oh, you got it. But I'm like,
Yes.
yeah,
I feel like that's such a big thing too with my parents because I have older parents.
yeah,
If you guys don't know, my dad's 76, which is pretty old, and my mom's 60. So my mom did take a couple of college classes, but she never graduated, and she took it a long time ago. So times have changed.
yeah,
And I feel like when they see me stressed out, they don't understand the magnitude. Like they don't understand why I'm stressed out.
hmm,
Like why can't you just do your homework? So I feel like that's different. And so many things have changed. I
Yeah,
feel
and I
like I
feel
can't talk
like
to them about it because they don't
yeah,
understand why I'm stressed
yeah,
or why I'm like putting so much pressure on myself. They always tell me it's okay like if you get a C, but they don't understand that I can't get a C.
yeah. In our grad program, we can only have like two C's,
Yes,
and that's
so
it.
I put a lot of pressure on myself because I have a goal
Yeah,
and it sucks because sometimes I want to vent to people about it, but every time I voice it, I'm like, wait, is my problem even that big? Like, should I even be having anxiety over this?
hmm,
So I don't know.
yeah. My parents are just like every time like if I have to come back early, like if
Hmm.
I'm there for the weekend and I have to come back early, and I tell them like, oh, like I have schoolwork, they're like, why didn't you do it like over the weekend? Or like they
Yeah.
and I have to explain to them, I'm like, I you know I can't just whenever I come home, I don't want to think about school. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's like yes, exactly. And my dad always asks me, and this triggers me so much, but I'm trying to be patient with him because I love him, and he's older. He always asks me, "Do you have any homework every single day?" And I'm like, "I know what I have. I know he's just trying to be helpful, but like I'm not a little kid." And him asking that question whenever we're out eating dinner, it makes me think about school, and then it triggers my anxiety.
He's like, let me see your little folder.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, Dad. Like, yes, I do have homework, and yes, I'll get it done. Let's just keep on eating dinner now.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so I think that's a really good thesis. I feel like you can find a lot of data on it,
Hmm.
and a lot of people have different stories to tell. So,
Yeah.
I also want to go to SWPA, but I have no idea what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna present. I'm not doing a thesis because I do not want to get my doctorates. So if you don't know, you get your thesis if you want to get your doctorates.
Yeah, a lot of like PhD programs recommend that you come in with a thesis just because it's a lot more work, and it's like you're basically telling the PhD program like, yeah, I'm really serious about this.
Yeah, and like you can even continue your research and your dissertation when you get
Yeah.
your doctorate and stuff like that. But I've already made it known to Taylor and to my professors that I don't want to get my doctorate, so I'm just doing a research project, which is only one semester. But it's still, I still have to find a topic to do it over.
Yeah.
I'm either thinking of doing it over like faith based psychotherapy because I'm Catholic, and that's just an interest of mine. I feel like I would, and there's a lot of information about that too, and it's in high
Yeah.
demand as well. So either over that and how it plays into psychotherapy and how it can help my future patients, or I want to do it over how why having an LPC in a prison is so important for prison reform
Yeah.
and to lower recidivism rates and stuff like that. So something like that. I just need to find faculty to sponsor
Yeah.
me. um, so I know we were talking about like maintaining our relationships and stuff like that. We have a lot on our plate. Why is having a support system in grad school so important?
I think it's super important because you just need that accountability all the time. Like if you try to go through grad school on your own, you're done. Like it's
I don't know. I
so
could not
hard.
do without people around me. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I it's like sometimes there's times where like you want to be alone, but
Yeah.
at the same time you still want those people around you to be like, "Hey, you got this." You know what I mean?
Yes, and it just helps so much to distract your mind
Yeah.
too. Like just to take a step away from school. Sometimes I feel like I live so many different lives. Like I live my school life, I live my work life, I live my hometown friends life. Like I feel like I have so many different roles to attend
Yeah.
to. It just gets so overwhelming. I think that's why finding a friend that's in grad school, like how we found each other, I think
Yeah.
that's so important because we can relate to each other's problems.
Yeah, I mean because we're literally going into the same profession, and it's so hard having like a friend that isn't going like I mean, it's good to have friends that are
Hmm.
different careers and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
like especially when you're going through grad school and you're going to the same school and you're in the same program, and if you don't have somebody that is going to that same career path as you, it's going to be really tough.
It is. Um, and you had some discouraging friends.
I did.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that situation? Not naming any names.
Sure. So, um, I was friends with this girl, woman, girl. We're adults, so I don't know.
It's
For
the
like
20s is a weird age to be in
yeah,
anyway.
adolescent. I don't know. We were friends for like 2 years, and we met going through this program here, undergrad program, not our graduate program. And when we graduated, we both came to the graduate program. And at first, I was gonna go to general psych because I
Mhm.
didn't want to. I didn't have no interest in being an LPC, and I really think she had a big influence on that.
Right.
And she did not. She it was made known that she didn't want to be an LPC, and I mean, her job that she wanted to do, she could do it with a bachelor's degree.
Right.
So
So she
it,
didn't even have to get her master's.
yeah. So a lot of like, I don't know if she was just like jealous or whatever the case may be, but she started a lot of like arguments like during the first semester of grad school. And a month into grad school, I decided that I wanted to change the counseling psych program because I thought therapy was really interesting. I thought it was much needed. And for what I want to do and what I want to fulfill in my life, that was the career path I wanted to go to. And so, whatever, the semester goes on, and like, you can just tell when a friend is not being a friend, when they're being really discouraging, when and it's not a good feeling at all.
Yeah, from an outside perspective, like just looking, I mean, I was around both of them because we had the same classes together.
Yeah.
Um, every time you would argue, I would literally see like the light in you dim. Like you just looked upset. Like I could tell you were drained
Yeah.
emotionally, and it just sucked to see you like that.
Yeah, friendships have their arguments, but when it's an argument that makes you feel so little and it makes you just, I don't know, it just, like, she just treated me like if I was like in a relationship with her, and I
Literally.
don't treat my friendships like that. Like,
She demanded a lot out of you. Like you were
yeah,
her significant other, which
yeah,
I thought it was weird too. Um, but I'm glad that you're here now.
yeah. She moved away,
She is
and
away.
she's married, and yeah, I haven't talked to her in like 4 months.
But we still wish her the best of luck, whatever she's doing.
Yeah, she's probably not even listening,
I know,
but
but I mean, just in case, you never know.
yeah,
She doesn't know. We're not naming any names. It could be anybody.
yeah.
Anybody. But yeah, I'm glad me and Taylor found each other. And we grew a bond together, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like we also like study the same. Like we have like that same mindset while we're doing homework and stuff. Like
yeah, I agree. We
sometimes it's kind of bad. We're like, okay, but honestly, I think we encourage ourselves a lot.
we motivate ourselves because we will be studying, and then I'm like, should we go shopping?
We're like, okay, okay. When we finish this assignment, we'll go shopping, and so like we'll literally finish it
And it
so
motivates
fast.
us.
Yeah.
I think being in the library also helps a lot too.
Yeah.
I'm excited to study on the third floor. I can't wait for that.
Yes.
It's so nice up there, and we want to use the makerspace right to make pillows for Psychi.
Yes, I think that would be really cool. Hey, Psychi members that are watching.
I know, yeah, definitely. We can use it as a recruiting tool. What do you mean? Anyone that's majoring in psychology or related field, undergrad or grad,
I go to Texas A&M University,
that go to
Kingsville.
Tamu, that want to join Psychi, send us a DM and we can give you more information on that for
Yeah.
sure. And let's also mention how no one asks us questions. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like, what do you mean? I posted something on our podcast Instagram earlier this afternoon, and I was like, okay, anybody have any questions? Because we want to start implementing y'all's questions in the podcast, just so like y'all can also have some input into our episodes, and we also want y'all's feedback as well.
Yeah, I want to hear from other people. I want to know what they want to know about grad school. If you
Yeah.
have a question about psychology,
Yeah,
I want to definitely bring up like during the weeks we have cases, what disorder we're going over. I think that'd be so fun.
that'd be really cool.
Once I get my days in because it still hasn't came in the mail. So, um, also like I think this podcast is definitely going to hold us accountable
Yeah.
because we could discuss what we have going on the weeks. It's a good little reminder, check in for us as well.
Yeah.
And you guys get to follow along our journeys, which I think is really cool too.
Hmm.
Especially if you're thinking about going to grad school.
Yeah.
Even I think you should go to our program.
We're only in our second semester, so we have like a few more semesters to go. So you'll be hearing from us.
Oh yeah, and this semester I have to find my research topic, so I'll definitely be checking in with that.
And if you know who we are and you see us around campus, tell us how the podcast is going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tell us hi.
Ask us some questions. Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Tell us how the audio is because
We're still learning. We're not very tech savvy.
No,
so.
we're not. We're learning everything, and we're not even watching YouTube videos. We're just winging it.
Yeah.
So bear with us, y'all, for real.
Yeah, for sure.
But I hope we get more followers on Instagram or more people tuning in. I think this is an interesting podcast. I think they can learn a lot.
As the semester goes on, obviously we'll have more topics to talk about. It's kind of hard right now because we just started back up. But yeah, if y'all have any questions about like transitioning into grad school, anything about our program, Psychi, just let us know. DM us.
Or even support that you need because definitely as you transition, I highly recommend going to grad school.
Yes.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
I'll tell everyone to go.
Yeah. Even though
Be-
it's like stressful at times,
it is
yeah,
stressful, but
it's so good to have that higher education.
yes, especially in psychology.
Yeah.
Because if you just get your bachelor's in psychology, it's so general. You can go so many different ways. And I'm not saying that you can't be successful with a bachelor's in psychology, because you can. But especially if you want to be a therapist or a counselor,
Yeah.
definitely need to go to
Mhm.
grad school.
Yeah, for sure.
I used to think that whenever I was younger, you could just graduate with your bachelor's and become a therapist. So, but no, you can't do that. There's definitely steps you need to take for sure. The next semester after this, we can take our comp exam though, right?
Yes.
We're gonna start studying for that in January.
Yeah, we have all this stuff to study for it. We got that last semester from the chair of our department, which was really helpful, and
I'm
I'm so
so
thankful for
grateful.
him.
Yes, we got everything for free, everything we need.
Yes, so we're gonna start studying for that in January because I know December is gonna be really hectic for Rebecca. So, and we just need that break from
Yes,
school.
exactly. Yeah, I'm glad that we have like a full month off.
Yeah,
A month and a couple weeks, I think. A month and
yeah.
2 weeks or something. Are you gonna go home for that break?
Probably not for the whole break. Maybe
Okay.
like for Christmas.
Okay, so maybe we can have like a Christmas here for us, your friends down here.
Yes.
Christmas,
Well,
and we could pop some fireworks, just sparklers, because within city limits.
yeah, and we'll wear Santa hats.
Yeah. So, oh, that's so cute. We could maybe have a Christmas episode.
Yes.
That'd be nice. Is there anything else you want to add?
Um, no, but I put this on our little agenda.
I think that this is a good way to end. I think we should always end with something like this.
Yeah, so always staying positive about our future career despite the stress. I think that is very important, especially for people that are just entering grad school, because like nobody talks about the transition from undergrad to graduate school,
So different.
and it's so different, so stressful at times, and a lot of the times you just want to give up and not do anything.
Well, yeah, and that's why I think it's important. Even if you don't have support at home, finding that person in grad school to motivate
Yeah.
you, keep you accountable, helps a lot for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I always think about the future and I think about like my future career, and that's what also motivates me because I'm like, okay, like I'm literally working towards becoming this.
Yes,
And
exactly.
it's making me super excited for my future. Also kind of
Yes.
scared, but very excited.
Yeah, I feel like we always have. I always see this among other therapists. What's called imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Um, but all I keep on telling myself is that I'm going to help people that need help, and that's what motivates me to keep going.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm going to have to get this through this obstacle of my life in order to be the best therapist I could be for the people that need me,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm looking forward to. So definitely staying positive, and just keep on reminding yourselves why we're doing it and
Mhm.
who we're doing it for.
Yes.
That's so important.
Yeah.
And I think this month is a good reminder too, because like I said, it is Suicide Prevention Month. Um, I've never had anybody close to me personally die by suicide, but I know you have had some acquaintances, right?
Yes. Mhm.
So I think it's important. If you guys are struggling, reach out.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't talk that, like, they don't talk about that they're struggling. And I know, like, a few people that are close to my boyfriend, that have gone through it, and my boyfriend as well. So it, it's looked at as a sensitive topic, but it really shouldn't
It
be.
should not be.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what makes people not want to talk about it.
yeah,
Like they're afraid to hurt their family or hurt their
yeah.
friends. But just reach out if you're struggling.
Yes, please.
And I also think that if if you're not the person struggling, if you're the people around the person that's struggling, notice signs. Like it's important for you to notice, like if they're not
Hmm.
going to class or they
Or
seem different.
if they said something that kind of shocked you a little bit.
Yes, or if they're pulling away, if they're not
Yeah.
acting normal, quote
Hmm.
unquote. So yeah, just reach out, guys. If you have any more questions for us, message us on Instagram. We also have an email, but you can find all our links on our Instagram page.
Yes, you can.
Okay, do you want to end it, Taylor?
So thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. If y'all have any suggestions for the next week's episode, just DM us or email us. And yeah,
See you guys on the next one.
bye.